This sure is confusing.
What's that?
Voting.
You don't know who you're voting for yet?
No, I mean the process of voting itself. This whole pandemic thing, I sure am nervous. And there's so many rules that I don't understand. And what's a notary? And I don't.
Yeah, it does seem more confusing this year.
And so much more important.
Maybe we can help each other figure it out.
Well, okay.
By ourselves, we know a little, but together, we know a lot.
Okay, team. Let's look at this postcard from the Missouri Voter Protection Coalition. Seems like there's 4 ways to vote. Is anyone planning to vote in person on Election Day?
That's me. I'm already registered, and I'm going to take my neighbor with me since she doesn't have a car.
A car?
My neighbor is a penguin.
Oh, okay. So if you don't want to vote in person on Election Day, whatever the reason, looks like the other options for all Missouri voters are voting absentee in person, voting absentee through the mail, or no excuse voting by mail.
See, this is where it all goes haywire. I don't have a PhD in voting. What am I supposed to do?
Well, hold on. Let's figure it out together. Let me see that. All mail-in ballots have to be notarized.
What does that mean? Notarized.
It means before you mail your ballot, you have to find a local notary and have them witness you signing your envelope, and then they'll put their stamp on it.
And I heard that a bunch of Missouri notaries volunteered to notarize ballots for free. There's a whole list on STL Today's website.
Okay, so if I don't want to vote in person, what do I do?
Looks like if you don't want to vote in person, you gotta request a ballot by October 21st. Let's start with absentee voting, since that's been around for a while.
It has?
Yep. People have been voting absentee for years. It's how people vote early or vote if they're away from home.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that before.
Yeah. There's 2 different ways to vote absentee.
What are those?
Let's see here. Either vote absentee and return your ballot in person or return your ballot by mail. Here's the thing. To vote absentee, you need to have an excuse. There's a whole list of what qualifies as excuses, including if you've got COVID-19 or are high risk for it, or if you or someone you're caring for has an illness or physical disability that prevents you from getting to the polls.
I've got diabetes, so I'm in one of the groups at risk for COVID-19 complications. I think I'll request an absentee ballot.
And I'm going to be out of town on Election Day, so I want to vote early. Looks like that qualifies as an excuse too.
It does.
So how do I get an absentee ballot?
You have to request one before October 21st. And for absentee ballots, you can request them by email, fax, U.S. mail, or in person. You can also go to movote.org to request an absentee ballot. Easy peasy.
Cool. That sounds easy enough.
Then the last step is figuring out if you need to get your absentee ballot notarized. If you're over age 65 or put down a health-related reason for voting absentee, you don't need a notary. Any other reason, then you do.
Okay, so does this sound right? Since I'm at risk for COVID-19 complications, I'm going to email a request for an absentee ballot before October 21st, fill it out when I receive it, and drop it in the U.S. mail.
Sounds right to me.
And since I want to vote early, I'm going to hop online to movote.org to request an absentee ballot, fill it out when I receive it, get it notarized by one of those friendly volunteer notaries, and then drop it off in person at an early voting location.
That'll work.
So we've got vote in person on Election Day and vote absentee in person, or vote absentee by mail. What's the 4th option?
Let's see here. Oh, that's no excuse vote by mail. And remember, mail-in ballots have to be requested by mail or in person. You can't request your mail-in ballot online.
Great. Sounds like I don't meet one of those excuse me reasons, and I'm worried about voting in person, so voting by mail will work for me. I just have to request a mail-in ballot before October 21st, fill out my ballot when I get it, have it notarized by one of those volunteer notaries, and then drop it in the good old U.S. mail.
Yep. And make sure your mail-in ballot gets to your Board of Elections by 7 p.m. on November 3rd. Don't wait.
Got it. Wow. Guess I don't need a PhD in voting after all.
So does everyone know their voting plan now?
Yep.
We did it!
Well, thanks, y'all. It's way easier to understand if you ask for help from a friend or check out this handy information from the Missouri Voter Protection Coalition. You were right. By ourselves, we know a little, but
together we know
a
a lot. Okay, team, let's go request our ballots and make sure we're ready to vote.
Yeah.